In this video, guys, we're going to look at why the FANG stocks are so important. Stay tuned. Hey traders and investors, a warm welcome to you. So FANG stocks, what are they? What are they all about? Why are people on about them so much? And a few little facts and figures from each one of the stocks. All right, so FANG stands for Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. But people say that Apple should be in there. I agree. I think Apple should well be in there. So obviously the most valuable company on the planet at the moment. So now it's kind of FANG with a double A. And actually, if you're being really pedantic, it's actually FANA because Google is now Alphabet. But you get the point. Let's not be silly about this. They are the stocks that people consider to be public-facing high tech. So it's a good barometer of investment health. So following these stocks gives us an idea of how really the modern economy is rolling. I'd argue that that's pretty much the case. If you think about it, social media, people on social media all day long, Facebook, Instagram, video streaming, Netflix, that's taken over as the way people consume entertainment. Forget about YouTube, but let's look at, from Netflix perspective, taking out Blockbuster, people are going towards video streaming like that as mobile internet speeds pick up, as just general internet speeds pick up. And let's not forget Amazon Prime as well with that. So Netflix and Amazon, virtual reality, e-commerce, obviously Amazon's changed the way we shop dramatically. Consumer electronics, we've got obviously Amazon selling it, e-commerce, we've got Google selling phones, Apple selling phones, laptops, Google tablets, that kind of stuff. Mobiles, again, both to payments, Google, Amazon with their payments. You get the point. The idea is it's changing our lives dramatically, so it's really important from an investor's perspective to keep a feel on the pulse of how these are going. Because if these are growing, then we would expect that the economy is doing quite well. There is an argument to say actually there's going to be a peak in terms of some of these. Like you could imagine that perhaps Facebook, I know Google, they're making most of their money from ad revenue. So as the economy is booming and people are advertising more, they're making more revenue. As they find ways to make more revenue, they'll increase in value. Netflix is all about subscribers. It's relatively cheap. A lot of people are going from cable in the US to Netflix. In the UK, going from Sky to Netflix. Apple, self-explanatory, taking a lot of market share in terms of the phones, tablets, and the computer market. Amazon, people are going to spend more. Facebook, there might be an argument for Facebook that actually it's not necessarily anything to do with the economy, because although they make a lot of revenue again from businesses advertising, that's their main source of revenue, they get to a point where they're actually so saturated that the way they grow now is to try and find new ways of advertising, new positions to put adverts in, and not soak the whole platform with ads so no one goes there, but to kind of have that fine balance. And that's the game they're playing. But anyway, those are the FANG stocks. I've got a few facts for you guys, just to run through some of the stocks. Facebook went public in May 2012 for $38 a share. It dropped initially down to $25.88, and it was a bit of a flop. And I remember actually reading stuff and they were saying about, hey, we can't monetize mobile. There's loads of stuff. Anyway, that's history, and it's not looked back since, and it's just ripping and ripping to highs. So if you bought it then, you would be pretty impressive. Amazon started out again, they didn't do so well at the beginning. They were struggling. There was a lot of concern about them making money. They were just pushing money straight back in to things. The whole Prime thing didn't go down too well at first, but now look at them, obviously massive company. They bought Whole Foods a few months ago for about 14 billion, I think it was. But yeah, it's an e-commerce absolute giant. Apple has just been a success story for Apple for a lot of years. Steve Jobs at the helm. He's kind of changed the whole the phone industry, let alone smartphone. There's a lot of stories behind that. It's one of the most, it is the most valuable company, first company ever to top $1 trillion in net worth. They've got a massive amount of cash sitting on the sidelines, which they actually have a hedge fund for. They allocate capital to. I don't think they short their own shares. So again, another great success story. Netflix is subscriber numbers. That is it. You know, there's nothing else to do with it apart from subscriber numbers. You know, they literally, they tweak and adjust. And I've seen them increase the price from like $7 to $11 in the US. And I think it was £1 or so in the UK. And then it's basically seeing if subscriber numbers drop off. But they've got to provide good quality content, right? They've got to have movies that people want to watch. They've got to have shows that people want to watch. If they don't, eventually people are going to move. And don't forget, with someone like Amazon Prime coming in, when Prime members can access quite a lot of content for free if they're already a Prime member. So they're thinking, okay, for my £80 a year, whatever it may be in the US, I get free delivery on my products, so I may as well use them for e-commerce, and I get access to all these movies, shows, etc. I don't need Netflix anymore. So they've got to watch out for that. Final one, of course, Google. Search engine that really wasn't the first search engine, was it? We had a few before that. Google took off. Google worked out a good way of monetizing it, and to be fair to them, they deserved a place in the Fang index. So big companies, these guys, massive companies, volatile, potential volatility, especially around earnings, especially around product launches. But keeping an eye on these gives us a good idea of how the general investment health of the tech market is doing. See you next one. Bye-bye.